Sup everyone, I'm your female otaku, and I'm here to review episode 2 of Ajin, and I decided to do a little experiment. You see, before today's episode was translated, someone mentioned to me previously about there being movies of Ajin only separated into 3 parts, and part 1 was out, so I decided to watch some of it to do a comparison of the movie and the series. So then, when today's episode came out, I can see which subtitles were better, because that was a big problem. Of course, CGI is a completely different situation, but the fan subs were a whole nother thing. So I found definitely the fan subs with the movie to be much better than the series. And the movie did cut out a couple of things that happened in today's episode, but they weren't like important, okay? They just cut out a couple of minor things that you didn't really need to see. The story could still go along, you still get all your important information. So things that happened in this episode that were not in the movie were the 2 guys in the van that had the kidnapped girl. She wasn't there. There was no girl being kidnapped and stuff. She wasn't there. A couple of conversations were longer than others, like with, between the movie and the show. The sister, when the police went to go talk to the sister, that was not in the movie. And yeah, just a few minor things, okay? Nothing too important. So I think I'm gonna give the series of Ajin the 3-episode test, see if it's worth the wait. And if it's not, then I'm just gonna stick with the movie, because I do really like the story of Ajin, but I'm leaning way more towards the movie than the series, alright? And funny enough, where I left off in the movie was exactly where today's episode left off, alright? Now, let me get down to this episode. So, remember last week when I mentioned about maybe each and every individual Ajin has their own specific power, because we saw K last week use like this, I don't know, sonic scream that paralyzed others around him? Well, we find out from this guy named Tosaki saying how the Ajin, all Ajin, have this voice. The voice of the Ajin, and when they use it, they paralyze others around them. And he also claims that Ajin are pretty much harmless. And I suppose that's true, because overall, besides, the whole immortal thing, Ajin are human. They have the exact same emotions, okay, same body parts and stuff like that, so they can be harmless. The only time they can be harmful is if they have a weapon, but that's the same thing with a human. A human can be harmful if they have a weapon, so yeah. And we had these guys over the van, they were all like, hey, that's the kid from the news, we can get some money. So, they go and attack him, they killed him, of course it comes right back, and then we see the same spirit, okay? The spirit of Ajin. I don't know why it would follow K. Is there only one spirit, or is there, like, a couple of them that follow all the other Ajin? And then the spirit was starting to question or mimic what K was saying. So, does the spirit of Ajin want to become human? I don't know. The spirit is confusing me, but I suppose that's the whole point, because it is supposed to be a adventure, horror, mystery, okay? So, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. So I will give the series itself one more episode, see if it's worth the wait, worth those terrible fan subs, worth the pointless, some of the pointless scenes that are cut out from the movie. It's probably not going to be worth it in the end, but I will review next week's episode, but then I'm probably just going to stick with the movie after that, because I really like the movie, but I'm going to hold back and wait for next week's episode. Okay, so tell me what you guys thought of this episode. Tell me if any of you guys are going to watch the movie, or if you already had. Alright, catch me later as I review Haikyuu Season 2. I'm your female otaku, sayonara.